I dumped my girlfriend because she made a test Instagram story and I failed. I, 26 male, broke up with my girlfriend of 9 months yesterday because I'm apparently supposed to treat her Instagram like a job interview. She posted a black screen to her story with a caption, "Some people really disappoint you, LOL." No context, no explanation, just that. So I ignored it. Because I'm not a mind reader and I'm not going to play high school games. I assumed it was about one of her friends, or just her being passive-aggressive about work or whatever. Well, apparently that was a test. She told me I failed because I didn't message her right away asking what was wrong. She said it showed I don't care enough to check in. I told her I don't check Instagram every 5 minutes, and if she has a problem with me, she should act like an adult and talk to me instead of fishing for attention through vague stories. She said I was being cold and emotionally unavailable. I said she was being manipulative and immature. She cried. I packed my stuff. She's still messaging me telling me I'm heartless for leaving over one small thing. But it's not one small thing. It's the million little red flags I've ignored for too long. The tests, the mood swings, the social media drama. I'm not dating a puzzle I have to solve daily just to avoid a tantrum. I want peace, not stories written in invisible ink that I'm expected to decode while she sits there with her arms crossed, waiting to see if I love her enough to notice. Done. Blocked. Logged out. I feel like I can breathe again. Now for the top comments. I think testing in relationships are a deal breaker. It automatically shows a lack of trust. I agree. It's such a childish thing. This will be a deal breaker for me from now on. The tests are the symptom. The disease is social media addiction. Early signs I look for are not being able to put the phone away during dinner or date activities, and/or spending more time getting photos or videos of an event than being present at the event. 1 or 2 photos is fine. You've passed a far more important test. Forward always. I think this is the best reward I have ever gotten from passing a test. Freedom from a life of BS. You know you made the right choice when leaving a relationship makes you feel relief rather than regret. Good for you for knowing your worth. She was being attention-seeking and you handled it maturely. Posting vague statuses for attention is draining on everyone around. 100%. Life is too short for that nonsense. I'm gonna assume she's around your age and is mid-20s. It used to be that ages like 18 and 23 were huge growing up years as they transitioned into college age and then full working adulthood. But I've just noticed that social media influencers fetishize acting like a teenager in their content, which gets popular and gets pushed to everyone. It's because the main people on their phone constantly are teenagers, so relatable content gets pushed to both them and everyone. And people like your girlfriend see it and think acting like that is normal. Big growing up opportunity for her, and honestly many women in their 20s nowadays. Next story. My girlfriend sold my PlayStation 5 without telling me because she thought it was a distraction. Alright, so I, 28 male, genuinely don't know how I've ended up in this situation, but here we are. Strap in. My girlfriend, 24 female, and I have been together for a little under a year. Things were good at first, like actually good. She was funny, smart, and chaotic, but in a cute way. We met through mutual friends, and I remember thinking, damn, maybe I've lucked out here. A few weeks ago, I bought a PlayStation 5. My old one gave up, and I'd been saving for months. I don't blow money often. This was like my treat-yourself moment. I brought it home, set it up all excited like a kid, told her about it, and she gave me this weird fake smile and just goes, "Oh, another console?" Didn't think too much of it at first. She's not into gaming. Fair enough. The next day, I came home from work and the PS5 wasn't where I left it. I thought maybe I was losing it. Checked the whole flat. Gone. Vanished. I asked her, and she straight up said, "Yeah, I sold it. You don't need it. You should focus more on us, not games." Mate, I thought she was joking. Like, surely no one is actually that bold, right? But nope. She really logged into my eBay account because I used it once on her laptop months ago, took pics, listed it, sold it, and even arranged pickup for when I wasn't in. I lost my goddamn mind. I didn't even know where to begin. She had this smug look like she'd just solved world hunger, acting like she'd done me a favor. Her argument was that it was a distraction, and she didn't think I'd mind that much. I told her she'd basically stolen from me. She got defensive, said she didn't steal it, she just reallocated resources in the relationship. Who even talks like that? Anyway, I kicked her out that night. She's been blowing up my phone with messages like, "I was just trying to help. You overreacted. And my personal favorite? You care more about a plastic box than your girlfriend." Nah, mate, I care more about respect. And that clearly didn't exist in her vocabulary. So yeah, just needed to scream into the void a bit. I feel like I'm going insane. Anyway, cheers for reading if you made it this far. I hope your day is going better than mine. What happened to the money from selling your PlayStation 5? Because if she kept it, it's theft. Also, just block her. If she gets nasty on socials, so be it. The people who know you will stick by you. Those that don't, well, good riddance to bad rubbish. I got the cash before kicking her out. I have a lot of free time now and can't wait to spend it with my new PS5. My partner just randomly told me, "Hey, I bought a gaming laptop this morning, out of the blue, literally 2 days ago." My response? Cool, hope you like it. You can finally play cross-platform games with your friends. Weird energy for your less than year-long girlfriend to decide it's a distraction, not even a week after getting it. God forbid a man have a hobby. Good on you for throwing her out and drawing the line in the sand right then and there. So, my husband is really into spending money on Warhammer. I phrase it like that because he never actually builds or paints it. It just sits in its boxes in the loft. And when I see more Warhammer, I definitely do the fake smile and "more Warhammer" reaction. And then when he's expecting me to pick up the tab whenever we go anywhere or do anything, because I've got the better job, I can't deny it rankles just a little. But I'd still never go so far as to sell it behind his back. He's playing the long game. Most Warhammer boxes go up exponentially over time. See, I didn't know that. Still would be nice if he paid for dinner every once in a while though, haha. Next story, 17 years, no ring. And now he wants marriage only after I walked away. My ex-boyfriend and I were together since we were 15. It's been 17 years and he didn't propose. He's my first ever relationship and my first everything when we got together. He's really all I know. He knew I wanted to get married. We had spoken about marriage from day one, yet he still hasn't asked me. I just stopped bringing it up and I decided to put myself first. We had a conversation last year. I told him that I can't continue living like this and that marriage is important to me. He said that it's just a piece of paper. I told him that to me it wasn't. We rarely ever fought, and we got along really well. My issue is that he talked about everything else but marriage. He wanted to buy a house with me, even talked about having kids, but didn't make that commitment. I realized that I couldn't keep going like that, so I left. And it's been a few months since we've not been together. I left our shared apartment and moved back in with my parents. He sent a ton of long texts saying he wants me back and that he wants to marry me. Now I just feel like it's a little too late. Why does it take leaving him? Getting a ring now wouldn't even feel genuine to me. It would feel so forced. Of course I do miss him, but I also know my worth. I'm so depressed and still cry about it every day. I don't know why I'm on here writing. I think I just needed to vent. Now for the comments. Come on, it's a shut up ring. He doesn't want to get married. You deserve better. Girl, this is your chance to get out there and discover life. Be single, have fun, meet people, go places, find joy with someone who can't wait to marry you. You deserve all of that, at a minimum. I was married for 17 years, and he wanted a divorce. I had never even been to a concert, though he'd been during. I started college, made new friends that weren't his, saw Evanescence live, and traveled a bit. He will lie to your face to get you back. Heck, he may even marry you, and he will make the rest of your life miserable for it. He doesn't want the responsibilities that come with marriage, nor does he want the benefits that come with it. Let's not forget he has nothing to lose by baby trapping you and making you do all the work. People who claim marriage is just a meaningless piece of paper are always the ones who fight the hardest to not sign that same piece of meaningless paper. My only piece of advice is to cut him out of your life completely. Clean break. There is a somewhat decent chance he'll be engaged within 2 years, and that will hurt. His sudden rush to get married will have nothing to do with you, but it will feel like a comment on you and your relationship. What it will actually mean is he's a jerk who only now realizes he can't coast through relationships, giving less than the bare minimum anymore. And they are the ones who will gladly build up their careers and their assets, while their girlfriends tank their careers by having kids, and won't be entitled to any share of the assets because of that missing piece of paper. Girls, don't procreate with a guy who refuses to have any skin in the game. Getting married was important to my husband. I wasn't bothered. I wasn't against it, just didn't see it as being important. So we got married at 29 after 11 years together, because I cared that he cared. If he cared and listened, you would already be married. He doesn't care. He's just used to you being there and trying to placate you. Has he actually made any sort of effort to win you back? Ignore his words, they are meaningless. Watch his actions, they speak volumes. Ditto, it's a matter of trying to see the other person's perspective. If you consider something extremely important and your significant other considers it meaningless, they are either in bad faith, it's meaningful but not a positive, or they value your opinions and views extremely little. Like, if I think something is meaningless but my wife thinks it's hugely important, my first thought is, wait, maybe I'm missing something, because I value her thoughts. Next story. I married my wife because I loved her, but I'm starting to think she only married me because I was safe. We met in college. She was stunning, popular, charismatic, and she chose me. I was quiet, nerdy, never the guy women noticed. But she noticed me and I fell hard. We've been married 8 years now, but lately, I can't stop noticing little things. How she lights up talking about her career, her friends, but never about us. How she always calls me her rock, but never really seems excited to spend time with me. How sometimes she stares off when we're having dinner and seems a million miles away. Tonight she fell asleep on the couch with her phone unlocked, and I saw she had been scrolling through an ex's Instagram. Not messaging him, just looking. But it felt like a punch to the gut. I don't think she's cheating, but I'm starting to believe she married me because I was stable and wouldn't hurt her. Like I was plan B, the safe bet. I love her with everything I have, and yet I can't shake the thought that she might not feel the same. I don't even know how to bring this up without sounding insecure. I just needed to get this off my chest. There is a conversation to be had here. What you want to get from it is up to you. Being the safe choice doesn't mean you weren't also the right one. Worth having that hard convo though. The problem is, everyone needs to feel sexy or wanted at some point in a relationship, even guys. Now, safe can be sexy, but it requires work and regular reassurance that you also find other things attractive in addition to the safety. And if you're not willing to do that, then the safe moniker just hurts. There is a phase called the 7-year itch. It's not always exactly 7, but right around there. Pretty normal for couples to feel distant or question their marriage. My husband and I struggled with connection our 7th year together. We had to kind of force the communication for a while, asking targeted questions, open-ended conversations about how we felt about our relationship and what we'd like to work on. A year later, and we are closer than ever. We no longer have to try to have those conversations. They're just happening, and we are making space for each other because we communicated that's what we wanted. Dr. Reddit often prescribes divorce, but in this case, I think some honest communication and maybe individual therapy to address your self-esteem issues should be more than adequate. Heck, I remember having that feeling maybe 3 years in my relationship, right before we got engaged. It was weird. We were having sex and it just felt off, like we both kind of stopped halfway through and questioned what we were even doing. We had a lot of difficult discussions, and it was genuinely hard to know if we should continue or not. We obviously did, and have been happily married for almost 10 years now. Each year gets better, and we really have gotten better and better at communication and doing things to make the other feel valued and appreciated. Last story. My friend told me something awful and I can't stop thinking about it. David, 36 male, and I, 39 male, have been friends since high school. My high school had a thing where the freshman students would be assigned a senior to show them around, and that's how I met him. I was assigned to David. In high school, David started dating a girl named Sammy. They were the stereotypical high school sweetheart couple, going on cheesy dates and sending each other love letters, that type of couple. Well, they got married after college and were due to have a baby in April. However, Sammy had complications while giving birth and ended up passing away from excessive bleeding, leaving David as a single father to his newborn daughter. David, understandably, hasn't been taking it well at all. For the first month or so, his parents were helping him take care of his daughter but had to go back home, as they live about an hour away. Since then, I've been helping David as much as I can, as we live in the same town. Last night, he called me at about 2 a.m. and told me to come over because he needed to talk to me about something important. Even though he had woken me up, I wasn't about to leave him alone, so I drove to his house and found him sitting on his front step drinking a beer. It was clear he had been crying, and that definitely wasn't his first drink. He told me to sit with him, so I did. What he told me next is what I can't stop thinking about. David told me that Sammy never wanted to have kids, but David did. He explained how having kids had become a hot topic in their house, and he was worried it would ruin their marriage. He didn't want her to leave him and also wanted a baby, so he chose to sabotage her birth control and convince her to keep the pregnancy. He told me that now he believes her death is his fault and said that he can't look at their daughter without feeling guilty and like a murderer. I was genuinely at a loss for words. I didn't know what to think, and I honestly still don't. After his confession, I just convinced him to go to bed and tried not to think about what he had just told me. I'm not even sure what to think anymore. This whole situation is disgusting. That was 3 days ago, and I've kept in contact with him briefly until I can figure out what to do next. I just genuinely don't know what to do now. Convince David to get therapy. He owes it to his daughter to become the best person he can, to become the best father to his child. That is how he makes up for his a-hole behavior. Yeah, dude needs some expert grief counseling and serious therapy. Honestly, he deserves to feel that way, but his daughter deserves a better father. Yeah, he feels like he caused his wife's death because he literally did. Edit. Thank you everyone for the advice and feedback. Sorry I haven't been replying to any comments. I got pretty busy with life last night and, well, now there are far too many comments to answer, haha. I think the general consensus is that David needs therapy, so I'm going to try to have a talk with him about it sometime in the next few days. Thanks again to everyone for taking the time to comment on my post.